Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Boss Wave and welcome back to another Borderlands pre-sequel video. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how you can get all the legendary lasers inside the vanilla based game of Borderlands pre-sequel. So any of the DLC weapons like the Longest Yard or the Thunderfire you cannot find in this video. However, I do have separate videos for those weapons in the description down below. You just have to go down there and look around for them a little bit. They're very simple and very easy. So I highly suggest you guys go down there and check them out if that's what you're looking for. However, what weapons I'm going to be covering today, like I said before, are going to be the vanilla weapons. So the Catoninetails, the Excalibur, the Min Lighter, and the ZX-1. Now I do understand that, you know, some people are looking for just a particular weapon in general, and they're not looking for all the weapons. And that's why I made this part right here. What this does here is you actually click the annotation above the name that of the weapon you were looking for, and that way it'll take you to the point in the video where I start talking about that weapon, and that way you're not wasting your time searching the video or, you know, looking at guns you don't really care about. So that's all there for you. If you guys want to also check out the DLC guns, like I said before, they're down in the description as well. But yeah guys, if you enjoyed this video or it helped you out in any way at all, be sure to leave a like on the video. I did work very hard on this and I'd really appreciate your support. So yeah, let's get started guys. Okay, so the first weapon we are going to be going over today is called the Catoninetails. Now the Catoninetails is a legendary dull laser with a base damage of 5,394, an accuracy of 95.1, fire rate of 3.0, reload speed of 1.8 seconds, magazine size of 37. Only comes in fire elements, so do not worry about getting this in corrosive or cryo or even shock, because it does not come in any of those elements but fire. And the burn damage per second on this weapon is 7,265.7. with a night chance of 12.6%. Now the red flavor text there, the cat's out of the bag. What that stands for is that it is of course always incendiary, has a decreased fire rate compared to other dull lasers, fires a beam which ricochets and splits into 3 to 8 separate beams, and those split beams can then ricochet off of walls and floors up to 2 times. So that's pretty interesting there. The beam also penetrates targets and burst fire, of course, because it is a dull weapon. It will be burst fire when it is zoomed in. So pretty cool there. This weapon actually has a lot of damage potential, but just for the fact that dull lasers are not good in general on UVHM, this gun suffers a lot from that. The only class that I really see benefiting greatly off of this laser in UVHM or endgame at all would be Athena, simply because, you know, she benefits greatly off of doing massive amounts of damage with shock or fire damage. So if you are playing as an elemental Athena build, I recommend, you know, giving this gun a try. But I would not say, as you can see here, I'm using it on my Aurelia, and it's just not doing any damage at all to the enemies here. It doesn't do too bad, but it really isn't, you know, that effective. So I wouldn't recommend picking up this gun other than that. But the way you get this gun is actually pretty difficult because it's not really obtainable by the means of killing a boss or a certain enemy in the game. The only really legit way to get this gun is to have it drop from a boss. I mean, it can still drop from enemies, but it doesn't have like a designated boss that it can drop from. Also, another way is through the grinder or through chests in the game. So that's really the only way you can get this gun. There is no boss that you can quote-unquote farm to get this gun. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Catoninetails. Now let's move on to the next weapon. Okay, so the second weapon we are going to be going over today is called the Excalibur. Now the Excalibur is a legendary Hyperion laser with a base damage of 27,193, an accuracy of 100%, fire rate of 1.1, reload speed of 2.5 seconds, magazine size of 36, can only come in freeze damage, so do not worry about getting this gun in any other damage type except for freeze. Freeze damage per second is 6,318, and the freeze chance is 40%, which is pretty high there. Also gets a bonus 110% critical hit damage, consumes 4 mana per shot, and has sustained fire increased accuracy because it is a Hyperion weapon, of course. Also gets a bonus 50% melee damage, but that is just because I have the melee blade on there. Now the red flavor text, "Thou art most badass," that actually, as I read here on the wiki, stands for numerous different things. Of course, all the parts are fixed on this gun, so you can only get it in all Hyperion parts along with that melee blade on there. So you cannot get any other attachments or any other, versions of this weapon other than what you see right now. Has increased critical hit damage, as I already stated. Perfect 100% accuracy, so that is also really good there. Critical hits have a 100% chance to freeze targets with ranged and melee while wielding this weapon. So basically, if you just hit any enemy in the crit, they will freeze instantly, which is awesome there. Probably one of the main reasons why people use this gun. And if it's not for that reason, they usually are using it for this reason that I'm about to say. Meleeing frozen enemies with this weapon generates a singularity that pulls enemies in close and then explodes into a cryo-elemental nova, which freezes other nearby enemies. And if you aren't going to use that gun because of that, then I don't know what other reason you'd want to use this gun, because this gun actually is really good in my opinion. Honestly, it's probably one of the most underrated legendaries in the pre-sequel. So a lot of people seem to think that the Excalibur is actually really bad on UVHM, but it's really not. The Excalibur is actually a pretty versatile weapon for any character and any playthrough, just because of how perfect the accuracy is. But the Excalibur especially works well on characters such as Aurelia, Wilhelm, and Athena. Now, as you can see here in the gameplay, I'm using it on Aurelia, and you can see, it's doing a pretty fair amount of damage, but that's because of the way I use her. I like to use Aurelia just for freeze damage. I don't really use her sniping aspects of her skill tree very much at all, and I have to say, though, that when I do use Aurelia, I do tend to use this gun a lot, and I have to say that I'm very impressed with the results. It's pretty good as far as the weapon goes for him. Wilhelm obviously benefits from this gun because he does have his laser-based builds, which increase laser damage significantly. So I highly suggest giving this gun a try if you do play as a laser damage, build for Wilhelm. And for as far as Athena goes, you guys are probably all scratching your heads wondering how the hell could this gun ever possibly benefit Athena. And it's because of the melee damage. As you can see there, the gun gets 50% extra melee damage when it does melees, and because of the whole meleeing frozen enemies, causes that singularity to come. I honestly think that if you really wanted to, you could probably make a freeze melee-based Athena build and actually work really, really well. It'd probably work well for mobbing enemies, but I mean, as far as bosses and stuff like that go, I can't really see it doing much more than that. Because really she doesn't have very many skills that increase freeze damage or any elemental damage other than shock and fire, so that's that. But I honestly think it's something we should maybe try out sometime, because I think it would be pretty interesting to see. But as far as getting this weapon goes, you actually don't have to farm this gun from any enemy or anything like that. It is now obtainable through the grinder, through the latest patch, so you can get this gun through the grinder now. But the main way you get this gun is the Excalibur requires 2500 badass rank to even pick up, and it can only be picked up once per playthrough per character. So once on TVHM, once on UVHM, once on normal playthrough, you can get this gun up to 3 times on the same character. So that's pretty much it there. Now the gun, it's located in a certain area. You have to go through Stanton's liver, as you can see here on the screen, and then you can follow the trail all the way down to this rock here. It would be sitting in the rock, but you basically pull it from the stone, so it's like a King Arthur reference, basically, is what it is, and it's an Easter egg, actually. But yeah, that's how you get this gun. It's pretty simple. The gun will be scaled to your level when you pick it up. So if you're level 70 when you pick up the gun, it'll be a level 70 version of the gun. And as I said before, you have to be over 2500 badass rank, so make sure you have that as well. It's not really hard to get that much badass rank, but if you're a new player, that might be a little difficult for you. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the Excalibur. Now let's move on to the next weapon. Okay, so the third weapon we are going to be going over is called the Min Min Lighter. Now, the Min Min Lighter is a legendary TDOR laser with a base damage of 7,342, an accuracy of 60.5, fire rate of 0.4, a reload speed of 1.4, magazine size 32, and can only come in shock damage. So the shock damage per second on this thing is 6,318, and the electrocute chance is 40%, which is pretty high there. Shocks enemies and explodes like a grenade when it is reloaded, since it is a TDOR weapon. Consumes 5 ammo per shot, and the red flavor text there, approach but never identified, stands for multiple things. Of course, it is always shock. It consumes 5 ammo per shot. Slow fire rate, shoots slow lightning balls that bounce off objects and deal damage to all enemies that are near its great radius. Shooting the lightning ball with any other weapon results in an explosive shock. So that's pretty cool there. But really, this gun is really just not good at all. Probably the worst legendary in the game, at least the worst legendary laser in the game, because it really is that bad. I mean, I'm trying to use it here right in the video, and it just takes way too much time to use this gun efficiently, and it's just not a good gun at all. There's no builds that benefit off the use of this gun at all, really. I mean, really, it's just a really bad gun, and it's not really obtainable either because there's no designated boss that you can farm this off of. You can only get it through the grinder and chests within the game. So unfortunately, that's the only way that you can get this gun. And yeah, let's move on to the next weapon. Okay, so the final weapon we are going to be going over here today is the ZX-1. Now the ZX-1 is a legendary dull laser with a base damage of 3,766, 100% accuracy, fire rate of 11.0, reload speed of 1.8 seconds, and a magazine size of 50. Now this weapon actually only comes in fire elemental damage, so you cannot get it in any other elemental damages other than fire. And the burn damage per second on this thing is 7,265.7 with a ignite chance of 5.5%. Now you're probably looking at that number and thinking, wow, that is really low for an elemental legendary weapon. And I'm going to agree with you, but for the magazine size and fire rate being as high as they are, it really isn't that noticeable. You're still going to ignite the shit out of enemies and you're still going to burn them, but it's really, the only thing that makes this gun so bad is how low the damage is for how high the level of the gun is. I mean, for being an end game weapon, it is so low. I mean, not even 4,000 is the damage there, and it just does not do the damage right. So anyway, the beam penetrates targets, so that's pretty helpful there, and burst fire while it is zoomed since it is a dull weapon. Now the red flavor text replay stands for quite a number of different things. I'm just going to go over the main ones really quick. It stands for, as always, incendiary, of course, greatly increased fire rate, perfect accuracy, slightly reduced projectile speed, greatly reduced external or elemental chance per bolt, and of course all the parts are fixed, as I forgot to mention earlier on this gun. So that means what you see right now is exactly what you're going to get if you ever happen to unlock the ZX-1. And then the main effect of the red flavor text there, replay, is that after a target is shot once, all subsequent shots will home in on that target until the magazine is empty, which makes this gun sound pretty good in my opinion. But if you go and watch the video of me just playing around with this gun, I am using it on Aurelia again, but she really just cannot get a good use out of this gun at all. I mean, it sounds like it's supposed to be a really, really good gun and that would pretty much benefit any character that would use this gun, but it really doesn't. I mean, if you watch here in the gameplay, it just doesn't seem to do enough damage. And the reason why, I think, is because on UVHM, pretty much every enemy that has a shield in this game, which is pretty much all of them, are resistant to fire. So that's what makes it so piss poor, in my opinion, on UVHM. I think this gun's really good on normal playthrough or even TVHM, but as far as UVHM goes, I just can't see myself ever using this gun. Now, as far as builds that this gun can actually really benefit off of are quite a few different characters. I mean, you can obviously get away with using it on Wilhelm since it is a laser weapon. It says here that you can actually get away with using it to gain maniacal laughter stacks on Claptrap since it is an elemental weapon, and of course as well, pretty much the same thing with the Catoninetails. You can gain Maelstrom stacks for Athena, which is very helpful as well. So I never tried using it on Athena, but I mean, if you want to give it a shot, go right on ahead and let me know what you guys think about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Actually, I forgot to do one more thing. I forgot to tell you guys how to get this gun. So how you get this gun is actually pretty simple. It actually drops from Zarpedon, actually. I don't know why I forgot her name, but Zarpedon drops this gun, and after you kill her, she is obviously not a respawnable boss, but if you go to the Empyrean Sentinel and you face the invincible version, obviously, then you have a chance of getting this gun as well. So that is pretty cool there that they decided to move her loot over to the Sentinel, which I think is fair. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Remember to leave a like if it did help you or if you enjoyed this video at all. And yeah, my name is Boss Wave. Be sure to subscribe for more Borderlands content, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.